So hi Siphiwe.
Hi.
Are you applying today?
Am I fine? I'm very fine, thank you. It's fine.
So how far with the application for the Mandela Fellowship?
I actually finished it yesterday.
You finished
so
it?
Sad, yes.
Have you submitted?
I submitted yesterday, as
Okay.
far as I remember.
Okay. So everything that was being said here.
It just made me feel like I'm not gonna go in.
Okay.
Hey.
So why did you apply?
I applied because I'm on a path. I have already, I was a legal practitioner. I had issues with my law career. I struggled with issues of ethics here and there, and I wanted to diversify, but I've always had a strong humanitarian inclination. So I decided, to go further my studies, and I happened to be a bit of humanitarian law, but it was more development, which is a humanitarian-based concept. So once I was there, I then broke out and I really figured out what I want to do with my life. Maybe not entirely, but I then got the confidence to say, now that I have these skills, I can actually go and do something. So when I then applied for YALI, I wanted to be able to take that theoretical knowledge and get a bit of practice, get a taste of practice by interacting with other people in the region that are concerned about development just as myself. So this program having been so great, I decided, I was encouraged because I had applied for YALI before and I was rejected, and so I was told, no, try again. So I'm really interested in going to do the bigger YALI, the Mandela Washington Fellowship, because I feel like, it's elevation. I've learned so much here. If I get another opportunity, it's just adding on to that knowledge and getting even better opportunities. So that's my particular interest, and I really feel that. So I chose the public management track here because I want in the future to venture into public management in the way of, I don't want to say politics, but in the way of, higher public administration. But my heart really lies in civil society. So going to Mandela Washington, I would like to then go into civil society, civil leadership, so I can be able to then get practical knowledge of how to then start what I want to start going forward, moving away from my mainstream profession, which is being a lawyer, and going into civil society.
Oh, you sound very passionate, huh?
I am very passionate.
What's that one incident in your life that has driven you so much to have this passion?
This is something I can actually say, but let's just say I didn't have a very decorated childhood, and I think that formed my character.
In what way? Economically?
No, not economically. I actually quite the contrary, but that formed my way of thinking, in that I learned that to be a perpetual victim doesn't help the situation. Let me find strength, And it's been a journey. It's been a work in progress over time. And as I grew and I continued to fight for a better me, for a stronger woman, trying to make sure that I'm not the opposite example of what we want women to become. I feel like I get so much strength of character, and I built on that consistently. So that, I think that childhood being rocky was very definitive for me getting to where I am today. Constantly teaching myself that you don't have to succumb to what is your defined reality. You can break out and I'm very grateful for media, actually. I think one of the people I've looked up to consistently is Oprah, and she doesn't even know that. She doesn't even need to know that, but to me, I've always called her my mother, and because of watching her journey, I always knew that there's not necessarily an end of the road. There's always an opportunity for you to do better, even in the most dire of circumstances. So I've grown so much from that, and I want to be the things I am to help my community, but as I do that, I wanted to vertebrate that younger girls must be inspired by the fact that we're limited in our scope of what we can do because of certain systems, but we can do it. That we can do it mentality is usually the beginning of great things. Thank Barack Obama. Yes, we can.
One last question, huh? Given one chance to change one law in Swaziland, which one would it be?
That is such a...
coming from a legal background.
That is a very difficult question because I want to change a whole lot. I think, let me make an example of one right now, but there's a lot really, and this is not the primary one, this is not the basic one, but the primary one for me and it resonates because I just did my thesis on it now. There's a law in Swaziland that still hasn't changed. It's a law that allows a spouse who's looking for divorce to ask the court to restore conjugal rights. And I wrote a whole thesis on that, on how I'm not saying it should be scraped. I feel like there's nothing on earth that doesn't have reasoning, but sometimes you find that laws become misplaced over time, given the cultural context, and the times. And I feel like let's rethink how we apply that law, and let's not be conventional in our approach to applying it. And that thesis for me is not just about that law. I was trying to send the message that in everything we do, let's just look at how, if we don't want to discard it completely because it's got a sentiment, a cultural meaning for us, let's look at ways of reinventing both the application and the effect of it. And let it not just happen with that law that I wrote about, let it happen with every other thing in society. That we know we have cultural convictions, we've got religious convictions, we've got all of that, but let's try and contextualize things in a manner that accommodates rather than build silos and compartments and all of that. So that's a law that comes to mind, but there's a few laws that need to change.
Thank you.
Thank you.